Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. And today we have a super special guest that I can't wait to talk to. Thank you so much, Rob, for being here with Flip Aquatics. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me. I know it's been a little while that we've been trying to put this together, and I'm glad that it finally worked out. And I'm super glad that you messaged me yesterday to remind me, because there's about a 99% chance I would have forgot.
Well, I forgot.
Thank you so much.
I was like, oh, we have a few weeks. Like, I'm good because I'm super forgetful. And then I was like, wait, today's the 10th.
Yeah.
The 11th. I need to make sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we had one of our team leads, which is like a manager. He was out all week on vacation, and so I had to fill in his position. Plus, I was doing my position. So it was a crazy busy week. So I actually have notes down on all my schedules that this live stream was coming up. But with me being so crazy busy, I wasn't even looking at my schedule. I was just like trying to survive.
Yeah.
You were taking one task after task.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep my head above water this week, which sounds like you guys had a very similar week, probably more so than me.
It's been one of those weeks that test your soul.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm good.
You just gotta get through every day.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh shit.
Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just like, what's up? Like, I know you have like it seems like watching your live streams, you have a couple good projects coming up. So I was just going to ask you about your projects.
Oh, I mean, I could talk all day. Like, my life right now is just crazy. The biggest thing that we're struggling with is employees. And just for whatever reason, and like, we could talk about it all day, but it's just terribly hard to find people that want to work right now. Like, a lot of people just want to stay home, with COVID and everything like that. And so we've been trying very hard to find people that are in our niche that want to come to work. And we just haven't. Like, our last two hires were people that were outside of our niche. And for us to be able to get our projects done, we need more employees. And then on this past Thursday, one of our employees actually put his 2-week notice in. So we're just like, oh gosh, like, can this really get any worse? And so we're just trying to get by. Luckily, we just interviewed someone I think is going to work out really well. But some of the big projects coming up, we're doing a breeding rack out in the gallery type room. We got some really good stuff coming up for that. I'm going to be setting up some big tanks out there. We're doing a plant system. Well, we already have one plant system. We're going to do a second one just to have more types of plants. And so, yeah, we got a lot of big projects going on. But this year, we're really honing in on, like, let's get really good at what we're doing. And then, next year we can see what areas we need to add more stuff in. So how about you guys?
I'm really looking forward to summer tubbing. We've been working really hard lately, the last, 2 weeks on our backyard, like getting rid of all the just winter stuff, like all the dead limbs, leaves, weeds.
Oh, yeah.
And then we cleaned out the pond recently, which I did film, you guys, because I have not been good on the videos lately. So I did film a video about cleaning up the pond and getting ready to move the summer tubs. I have some rice fish tubs that I moved inside, and then I left the larger tubs outside. So getting all that moved back outside.
So how many tubs do you guys have total?
We have a koi pond and then a mosquito fish tub that's 300 gallons, a white cloud tub that's 300 gallons, and then
holy smokes.
I think there's four rice fish tubs that are like 25, 30 gallons. They're smaller. They're a little
That's
bit
awesome. So you guys got 2 300-gallon totes or ponds.
Yeah, I thought they all got destroyed from this winter because they completely froze. Usually they freeze just like on the surface, but this year with all the like that cold snap, they froze. And I was like, I don't know. I know they like cold water, but this is cold. And they did really well. It all defrosted and everything. The water lilies are starting to sprout and everything's coming to life. And I'm just so excited for the summer. I can't stand it. That's
awesome. Now, Jesse, do you do a lot of plants and stuff out there? I know Carrie said you got like tiger lotus.
Oh yeah. If she likes the way it looks, then I got to figure out how to keep it alive.
Yeah. So no matter if she likes like a certain plant, you figure out like, how to make sure that thing's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to do my research because I am new to all this. I'm not new to gardening or plants, but I'm new to the aqua side of it. So it's a little bit challenging to me, but it's actually really fun.
We got a super chat from World's Smallest Fish Room. Thank you. Hey, hope you're doing good. We are now. We're with the fish fam.
That's awesome. Now, Jesse, do you do like CO2 and stuff like that?
No, that I haven't. I've done a bunch of research on it. I would like to do it.
At least try it once. Just to try it.
Right now, I try to do ones that they say you can do them without CO2, but they won't do as well. So I went with some baby tears a while back, and I got it to carpet without CO2.
It's doing okay. It's doing okay.
So I try to fiddle around to see if I can beat the system.
Oh yeah.
Last year we have a new fish store that's about an hour away that has a pond section outside, and I went crazy on the pond plants. And the only one I honestly don't have really good luck with is the water lettuce for some reason, and I try every year. I buy it every year, but it just doesn't.
Is it in a shaded area?
I've tried it in everything. I've tried it in high sun, low sun, half and half. It just doesn't.
That's
weird.
weird.
But I try. It's fun trying.
Yeah, the one plant that everyone says, it's so easy. I get stuff that they say that's so hard.
The only thing I did stop trying to put in the koi pond because I knew the koi were eating on the roots. Really, like they like everything. But with the mosquito fish and the white cloud, I don't know if it got rained on too much or it got splashed. I don't know, but it just doesn't do very well. But I have fun trying.
Heck yeah. Now, how soon until you guys get the outdoor tubs up and going?
It's got to probably be about 10-ish degrees warmer during the night. It's getting close. And with the rice fish, I'm sure they like the colder weather. So I'm sure they would be okay. But for my own peace of mind, I wait till it's about like 60s overnight. But so far, the white clouds and the mosquito fish, they're out there now and they're doing great. And like I said, they were frozen.
Yeah, they went all winter long.
That's crazy.
Never shut them down.
Now, do you guys keep air running on them all winter, or do you just let them be stagnant?
A little bit of everything. The koi pond, we turn off the filter or the pump, but I leave an air stone in. And with the mosquito fish tub, I have a solar pump, like a little bird feeder solar pump that runs.
That's nice.
And that's it on that one. And then the white cloud tub, I have a little air stone, a little tiny bubbler. So
gotcha. And you get a lot of babies out of them every year?
Yeah, the white clouds, they seem to do well. Like there's always fry. I just don't know how many actually grow up. It seems like I get more fry but I do have probably a good handful, a good amount that grow up, but not all of them. The fry that I see, I feel like grow.
Gotcha. Yeah, because we're thinking about my wife wants raised garden beds, and so we're gonna put a whole section in our yard of raised garden beds. And I was thinking like it'd be so fun to just throw like 10 tubs in there or something like that, and just run some air underground or whatever, and throw a bunch of fish out there and just see what happens. Because like for us, we could just throw them on the website and sell them at the end of the year.
They breed so much better outside. I've moved guppies out there. I always say I'm not going to do guppies anymore. I'm going to try something else, but there's always a tub of guppies outside. And even they go crazy. They love it.
Now, do you ever have problems with like dragonfly larvae? Do you cover all your ponds?
I try, but the dogs like to drag my covers off.
Yeah, dogs are notorious for that. My dog loves like trying to get in the pond and try to eat the fish. She never actually gets them, but she just absolutely loves it.
I've caught the Shiba. We have Shiba emus. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Shiba Inu.
Outside. And sometimes,
what are those? Are those the type of dog?
Yeah, they look like foxes. And
Really?
they act like teenage or adolescents, like forever 3-year-olds.
Oh my
They're
god.
really stubborn. But I'll catch them every once in a while. They like to drink out of the pond, even with their tub of water. They like to drink out of the pond. But every once in a while, I'll walk out there and I'll find Misha in the pond, just standing. Like,
Oh my gosh.
are you good?
Are they always outside dogs?
They don't like to come in too often. I try. When it was cold, I was out there like, please come in. But they're related. They're cousins to the Akita. So they like cold. They
Gotcha.
cold.
No, I forget. Where do you guys live at?
Missouri.
Missouri. So it's pretty cold this year then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get our fair share. It's not overly cold, but it's not. But this year was just cold.
Yeah, we set a record for this year. We went, I think it was 23 or 28 days below 20.
Dang.
In a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because the people up north are like, that's not cold. I'm like,
yeah, we're like, hey, no big deal. It was a wild winter this year.
For the super sticker. And then I think he's
I think he has a question.
Love the red root floaters. Thank you. I have a ton of smaller ones now too.
Kevin,
that's awesome, Kevin.
Put it up there. I can't read very well.
Dang, that's huge. That looks good. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, Kevin. Always good to see some familiar faces here.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see everybody at Aquashella for those that get to are comfortably enough to go to Aquashella. I'm really excited to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird to see people in person, and I don't think Florida makes you wear a mask. So I'm sure everyone's gonna have their mask off, and it's gonna be like, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know. I just the fish fam are my only friends, so I'm just excited to see everybody again and just be like, oh my gosh! It doesn't seem like it's been as long as it has, but. It's been a while.
Time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, when was the last Aquashella? Was it it was Chicago, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
No, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's like a year and a half ago. Which is crazy.
I'm looking forward to it so much.
Oh, I'm getting a little stressed about Aquashella just because I know that we have the shrimp contest coming up. They want me to do a talk there. They want me to have a booth there and the fish tube booth. So that's like 4 super busy things that are all going to be going on in 2 days. And I'm just like, how am I going to do this?
Well, I'll be there to help.
Well, I appreciate it big time. So we really need to get on planning on like what we want to do for the booth. I think we'll probably try to keep it real simple. Just because I don't know how many people are going to come, like as far as creators. But it would be nice to have like a normal event for once.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just to like get out and remember how to socialize.
Yeah, because it's been a long time since we've done it.
Thank you, Team Fish Tanks, for the $10 super sticker.
Yes, thank you.
Heck yeah, we're getting all kinds of super chats and stuff today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I missed last week because the kiddo was sick. So thank you guys.
Well, yeah, kiddo, and it was Easter, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Easter.
It was Easter.
That throws a wrench in the schedule.
Yeah.
Now, how many? Oh, it does. How many tanks do you guys have inside?
24. I think he counted
26.
26.
26. What's the biggest one?
The 180, the silver arowana upstairs.
Ooh. 180 is a good size tank.
We keep looking. I want to upgrade him so bad because he's still good in that tank, but it's going to be time sooner than later to upgrade. And I just honestly thought it was going to be easier to find bigger tanks in my area, but it is not. So it takes a while to find one.
What size are you looking for?
Anything above a 180. Hopefully like around a 220 or a 300 I think would still fit comfortably in that room on that wall. But
yeah, 300 is a nice tank. I got 2 of them if you want to make the drive up here to get one.
We probably would.
But one of them I got to make sure we can fix the leaks on it.
Well, we resealed this one, so even if it needs resealed,
that was my next question. What type of tank?
Yeah, it took us 2 times to redo it, but we got it, and it's held. We practiced on a few smaller tanks too beforehand, but it seems like it's worth it if you can get one, even if it needs resealed. If you can practice and get comfortable with it, it's worth it, because
heck yeah,
if you can get one.
Yeah, it was crazy. The 300-gallon glass one that we got, I think it's 10 feet by 2 feet, or 2 feet by 2 feet, I think. So it's like a really interesting dimension. And we actually, one of my buddies saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy was like, actually, it was in a Facebook group, and the guy said, "Hey, if anybody wants this, just come get it." And so we messaged him right away, and he's like, "Yep, just come get it. First one here gets it." So we drove up there, and we're like, "This is too good to be true. Like, this tank's got to be like the ugliest tank ever."
Yeah.
And we get there, and this guy like had this tank all cleaned, like it was ready to go. Here he was, I want to say he was like 80, 84 or something. And his wife told him, she's like, "You need to be done. Like, you're getting too old for this. You don't need to have this tank at home. You don't have time to reseal it." She's like, "You just need to get it out of the garage." And so he was so appreciative that we came and picked it up. And I was like, "Man, I appreciate you for letting me have this tank."
Yeah.
Like, how often do you get a 300-gallon tank for free? Never.
Yeah, that's how we lucked into this one. It was from our nursing home. Our local nursing home upgraded, and they were just going to sell it, donate it, do something. And they called the local fish store, and the fish store called me, and they're like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. I don't even care what I need to do to fix it. I will take it."
That's crazy. You got it for free?
I didn't get it for free, but I got it for a steal.
That's good.
Close to free. You got it for $200.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I was like, I don't even care. I needed it so bad, because at the time the arowana was in a 55-gallon, and he could still turn pretty comfortably, but you could tell he
wanted a bigger tank.
He was outgrowing it. Yeah. So, but I got him when he was just a few inches long. So he's
past 2 feet.
He's about 2 feet. So
what does he eat?
He's everything, including like the water hose spigot if we would let him.
Wow.
But we have a wood chip pile in the backyard that we can get some pretty good sized night crawlers. So we'll feed him those and bloodworms. He really likes the sinking veggie pellets that we try to feed the pleco in that tank. He really likes those, but really anything.
What brand is it?
Omega. Is it the Omega 3? Omega something. I forget off the top of my head the Omega one. But
we need to get you switched over to try some Northfin food.
Yeah, I've got so much stuff. I don't even know what I have. Anytime there's a new food, I'm like, I'm gonna try it.
Oh my gosh!
All behind me right here is just nothing but fish food.
That's
and then
funny.
I have a wine cooler in the fish room that's full of fish food, and then the freezer upstairs has got fish food in it.
Hopefully, the wine cooler has some actual wine in it too.
No, it's filled with like cricket stuff and fish food. I was like, I'm going to utilize this.
Darn it! That's funny.
Yeah, if I ever have company over sometime, maybe I could be like, if you don't mind, the wine's next to the cricket food, but here you go.
When I was a bachelor, it had wine in it. She took it over with the fish room, and now it has fish food in it.
That's funny. So she stole your wine cooler and filled it with live foods.
Yeah, I did. I sure did it.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
That's
a true
awesome.
fish keeper.
So Jesse, what do you think? Like, I think it's always interesting to know somebody coming into a relationship that possibly never had fish tanks beforehand, and then all of a sudden gets thrown into the hobby. Like, what was your reaction? Like, did you guys do this together, or was this something that like you guys were just together and she had 20 tanks?
It started out as a project when she was finishing up her degree on stressing fish out for her final project.
I was trying to manipulate the fry rate. A couple of tanks had stress and a couple of tanks didn't have stress. And I was trying to see how it manipulated the fry, like the batches of fry in the guppies.
And then it went into the genetics on breeding the guppies, because guppies are the easiest to breed. So you can hustle out different colors real quick to see what you can get. And then it just didn't stop.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to stop, and it didn't.
It didn't.
And
It just kept growing and growing.
yeah, then the 5 and 10 gallon tanks magically turned into 20s, and then it just
but what
escalated.
He didn't like. He was supportive in the beginning, like, because I've always had fish tanks. We had that goldfish tank, but once I went to college and I realized there was a community of people that liked fish tanks, I was like, wow, it did explode. But he was supportive, but he didn't help me in anything until that last Aquatis-Kerri, and we went to Primetime Aquatics' fish room. And then
that's what changed it?
Everything changed.
Well, that and the plants. The plants probably did it for me. The plants and the shrimp. Yeah. I do like shrimp.
Yeah, because
we
got shrimp
awesome.
Not too long before we started. I think before we went to Aquatis-Kerri, we got some cherry shrimp, and then from that cherry shrimp, we got yellows, and then at an auction, we got some blue dreams.
Yeah,
at the Missouri auction, and then
how many types do you guys have now?
That just have shrimp?
Yeah, or is it just shrimp in general? How many types of shrimp?
1, 2, 3, 4 now.
No, the shrimp Jessies.
There's shrimp up there. There's shrimp in that one.
Oh, he's got a recommendation.
No, who? Me?
What?
Oh, the shrimp I like probably the best are the Blue Dream.
Yeah, he likes the blue ones.
Blue Dreams.
But those are the ones that I've had the most trouble keeping.
Really?
We got probably, I think there was like a 12 in that bag at the auction, and I put them in it was been a pretty established 10-gallon with crushed coral. And they did well for a while, but then they slowly just kind of one by one. And I have one left, and I put it in this one right here with some cherry shrimp to see what happens, because they didn't do
just
well.
To see.
Yeah, but the yellow ones I have in this 20 long right here, they do fantastic. Every time I look in that tank, there's a new little shrimplet.
Which is crazy. Usually yellows are the hardest.
Yeah, and I started kind of calling them in the beginning to kind of just get the yellow ones, because I would get a couple cherry ones here and there, and I would put them in a separate tank. And then the wild type browner ones, I would keep them in a tank of their own just to see what would happen. And that's the one in this 20 long right here. And in the back, it's got like a whole wall of algae that I've kind of trimmed up. I was like, they like the little algae wall, so I'm going to keep it.
You just let them keep it.
Yeah. And so I think there's a little bit of every type. There's some really yellow ones, and then I forget what they're called, the Rillies that have kind of some clear spots in them.
Yeah.
So they do really well in that tank, and I'm scared to switch them out to like kind of put some in here and some in over there to kind of build up a few other colonies maybe. But I'm scared to take them out because they're doing so well.
Because they're doing so good. Now, one thing to know is the crushed coral can sometimes be bad for shrimp. Just because like it's constantly changing the hardness of the water. And so like if you're not like monitoring it, it could like spike the hardness, and then that would kill off the shrimp. So what do you guys know? Like, do you use tap water or RO water?
I'll switch it over here. I'll show you. I have this lovely little trash can set up that I fill it up, and I let it set for a couple of days.
Now that's RO water?
No, it's just regular tap water. I put Prime in it. Gotcha. And then I just let it set for a day or two before I do water changes.
That's how smart.
I've been doing it. But I have a water hose and a pump that I just pump it in, because there for a while I was just doing it 1 gallon at a time with a water bottle. But I would let it, I guess, age for a day or two and let it kind of evaporate out. But
yeah, having the trash can full is a lot easier.
I haven't messed with the RO water. I know if I ever want to, because right now I just do the Neocaridina. I don't do any of the Caridina. I love them, but I haven't tried them. But
they're honestly easier than Neos.
Are they?
Yeah, it's just having the right setup for them. Like that's everything. And if you have the right setup, they're super easy.
I've looked into the RO systems, and I honestly thought they were way more complicated and expensive than they were or are. But those shrimp, man, at those shows, you can't help it want to be like, whatever I need to do to set up, I will do to keep these shrimp. They're so beautiful.
Oh, they're awesome. Now, do you know your GH and KH of your water?
I know it's high. I just got a TDS meter a few days ago. I opened it, but I haven't tried it yet. I haven't got it. But I did. I got a TDS meter and a pH, a digital
pH meter. Mm-hmm. You need to test your GH and KH. And I think API is a test, and it's pretty cheap. I want to say it's like $10 at the most. And it's super easy to use. But if you can test that, like that'll tell you everything you need to know about whether shrimp will do good or not. Because hard water is good for the Neos.
Yeah, and I know that I was in the beginning, I did have a heater because for some reason, I think I was watching one of your videos during that time span, and I was like,
nice.
I don't think I need this. But some tanks, like I've kind of fiddled around with the ones that I've taken out, like the wild type, and kind of did the magical moving of the tanks. And some they do well, and then others tanks have not so well. But this one up here, I've been putting what are they called? They're so dark they look black. What are they called?
Black Rose?
Yes. Yeah. I think I've gotten 3 of those, and I've been putting them in this 55-gallon up here with the guppies, and they've gotten huge. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll give me some shrimplets soon, but they seem to like that tank really well.
Heck yeah.
But I always used the test strips in the past. Like I've always just gotten, I think it was the Tetra test strips, and that's just what I've always used. I've seen the more like the API stuff at the fish store, and I was like, maybe someday.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I'm colorblind to like know the different shades. But the GH and KH one's super easy because it will go from like orange to blue. And as soon as it changes, that's like, degrees hardness. So like if it takes 8 drops, it's 8 degrees hardness of GH. And so those ones are easy for me to do. But yeah, the other ones like the pH and the nitrate and all that, super hard.
Yeah. I'm just lazy. I'm not going to lie. I'm just lazy.
Now, do you still do guppies and stuff since that was like kind of your big project earlier on?
I still have tons of guppies. I have here recently in the last, I would say 6 months or so, kind of branched out to a few different things, but mainly I like the guppies. I will always have guppies. I've kind of dabbled with the mollies and the platies here recently, but the platies always do better than the mollies. The mollies for me, I've tried the bracket adding a little bit salt, and they just don't like my water, I guess.
No. I loved breeding mollies. The first fish that I ever really got into the hobby with was balloon mollies. Like really? They're the cutest little ugliest fish you've ever seen in your life.
I'm all into these high fin platies all of a sudden. It came out of nowhere. I've seen them in the fish store before, and they're really cute, but I finally brought them home, and I'm obsessed with them. They're so cute.
Are they breeding yet?
Not yet, but they look interested in each other.
Well, that's good.
Thank you, Alan, for the $5, and he said he will see you at Aquashella, Rob. And thank you, Priscilla MK, for the $1.49 super sticker. Appreciate it.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, guys. Yeah, Aquashella is going to be a really good time.
I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to go to this one or not, but I'm going.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make Orlando.
No, why not?
Just work. Somebody's got to work.
He's got to work so I can
go. Like you, Rob. Somebody's got to do extra work. Somebody's got.
Oh yeah. Somebody's got to make up for it.
I was talking to one of my clients at work, and I've known her forever. We've worked together a few times in the past, and I was like, if you get me down there, I will pay for whatever you want if you just drive me down there, because I can't see very well, and I'm not a very good driver. And she's like, okay, just send me the dates. I'm like, deal, let's go.
No, she's driving you down there?
Yeah, I've never taken like a girls trip before. So I'm really excited, not only for Aquashella, but I'm gonna miss you, Jesse, but I get to take a girls trip.
That's so funny. Now, Jesse, what do you do for a living?
I'm actually a tree climber.
Are you really?
Yep, that's what I do,
dude. You ever get slingshotted back and forth?
Yeah, I have. I've
That's
I've
crazy.
done it all.
Yeah, he got hurt not a handful of years ago. He almost got, well, he did get pretty much folded and chopped in half, and they just put him back together again.
Ooh.
But
What happened?
I had a tree. Easiest way to explain it: I had a tree basically split in half on me when I was cutting it, and instead of splitting up and away from me, it split down and below my feet, and I was actually tied into that section, so it just pulled me in two.
No way.
Yep, way. I took my feet and did a backwards flip, so my feet went over the top of my head the wrong direction.
yeah.
Oh, did it yank you down to the ground too? Or were you
Nope.
still in the tree?
Sucked me up to the tree, and I was hung up there at about 60 foot in the air.
How'd they get you down?
I stayed conscious, and another guy that was with me, we always keep another climber with you. I put a rope up there in the tree with me, and he came up, and I cut my line free and tied into him, and we came down together.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Like, did you think you were gonna die, or did you knew you were gonna be okay?
At that point, I was in shock. I didn't even know really what was happening. I was just lucky to be conscious.
That's wild, man.
And then I ballooned up like a big old pregnant lady having triplets, and they took me to the emergency room, and I spent a week in the ICU just
Holy
full of
crap.
blood. I busted
That's wild.
everything on my insides.
That's crazy. And you're completely healed now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're always going to have your normal residual back pain and all that kind of stuff, but still doing it. Almost 20 years in the business.
That's crazy. You like it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta be kind of adrenaline junkie to do
That stuff.
Yeah, because I do for the power company, and all I do now is hazard trees. I just go around 3 different states: Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa, and I just do transmission trees that are hazardous, that could hit the line. They could be dead. They could be blown over by the wind, whatever the case may be. And they just run me around, and I go do stuff that people go, "Why would you do that?" Well, because I'm kind of crazy.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, it sounds like it's at least good money. Like, you're not going to do that for $5 an hour.
Well, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. They kind of pay them pretty decent because they don't expect them to last too long.
Oh, that's a bad way to think about it.
And then they retire early, and it's kind of sad, but it's true.
Yeah, we're still on the top 5 world's dangerous jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we still rank up in the top 5 as the most dangerous thing you can do. Nobody signs up. You don't see it at a career fair. Hey, do you want to go around high voltage power lines and in trees and then cut the stuff?
Well, especially when
nobody signs up for that.
Yeah.
When they bring in the helicopter, the helicopter has like this huge, I always get it wrong, like 18-foot saw hanging from the bottom of a helicopter, and they're going between a power line and a tree. And
crazy.
It's like, okay. He'll send me pictures. I'm like,
That's wild.
I can't complain about anything anymore.
Thank you,
Jessica.
Aquatics.
Oh yeah, we're getting more super chats, huh?
Yeah, Pepplin Creek.
Pepplin
thank
Creek,
you.
and there was somebody else in there.
Let me go up.
T's fish tanks.
Yeah.
Here's one. How hard is it to ship a baby bristles nose? Do I need breather bags? Fellow fish fam is looking and I can help.
So, I mean, we use breather bags for all of our fish just because it saves space. But you don't have to, like, as long as you put oxygen in there. And right now the temperatures are so good out that, if it takes 3 days to get there, they should be completely fine, especially if they're babies. Like, babies are pretty hardy as long as they're not like newborn babies. So absolutely, man. Thanks for the super chat. You guys are being awesome tonight.
I had what did I order? I think I ordered my Amicus Splendens, and they threw in a couple bristlenose on my order, and they used breather bags. And when they got lost in the mail, and when they finally arrived, the bristlenose barely had any water in those breather bags, and I opened it and it literally jumped out into the bucket of water, and they're still fine. They made it growing and doing
That's crazy.
good. So yeah, there's
and they got lost in the craziness of last year in the.
I think they went up to like, I can't remember where I ordered them from, but they got lost for like a week.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, when they arrived in, they didn't have hardly anything. And I honestly was going to put them aside because I was like, those didn't make it. And I went ahead and opened it, and
they all lived
its life, and it did. They're doing good.
Yeah, that shipping was crazy. Like right around Thanksgiving for Black Friday and stuff. I remember we had packages that were lost for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily shrimp are pretty hardy, so most of the shrimp, like even if they got lost, they'd make it. But like the fish and the snails and stuff like that, the plants, like almost all of that stuff died off. So it was a rough time.
Oh yeah, the shipping through all of the end of last year was insane.
Yeah, I kind of just been buying my time, and I'm just so indecisive now. I don't know what I want to order, but I waited forever, and now I'm just itching to order something. This is what is getting nicer.
Well, we know one guy to order shrimp from. I can't really think of him right now, but it'll come to me eventually.
I want green. I was going to ask you too before I forget, because I get to talking and then I can't remember. But when it comes to breeding the Neos, do they run closer to the color wheel? Like, I know there's certain genetics that are involved in when you breed, but if you put a blue and a cherry together, are you going to get purple eventually? Or I
don't think so. I don't think purple is ever a color that you can sustainably breed. Just because, like, if one is purple, it's like, it's not a color that like stands out. I don't know. So like it's most likely gonna be a cherry eventually if it's purple, or it'd be a cherry with just a shade of purple. To get a strictly purple shrimp, like I just don't think the genetics are there. But it's always something that's fun to try.
Because my goal is green on it. I love those.
Green's a tough one too.
Like Jade Shrimp. There's something about it, and I've never seen one in person. It's always in pictures. But I was like, I didn't know if it was more like the guppies, like they have their like the genetic, and you kind of breed them till you get a trait you like and keep it going, or if it was more like a color wheel type thing. If you put these two together, it'll take some time, but you might get one that pops out every third generation of this particular color, and you would take it and put it in its own tank. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, so like, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is like, chocolate shrimp is like the main color one. So a chocolate shrimp is how they created the Bloody Mary, which is red. It's the same way they created the Black Rose, which is black, the Fancy Blue, which is blue, and then the Green Jade, which is green. So one shrimp got those 4 color variants out of it. Now a cherry shrimp is a completely different shrimp. So like if you were to mix a cherry shrimp into one of those shrimps, then all of a sudden you would start getting like, straight brown or black speckled. Like you would get some weird ones, and that's probably like how they were able to develop like the carbon really and stuff like that, just those weird off colors. So getting like a purple, like there's really no good combination out there. Like maybe if you worked with like blue, the Fantasy Blue, and just kept selectively breeding to find one that's closer and closer to purple, then you could probably get one that looks a lot like it. Or maybe using like the blue pearls or the blue velvets, like something like that. Because blue velvets actually come from cherries. And so there's blue and red that are real close together. So, I mean, you could possibly work it and maybe get close. But, if it was easy, the Taiwanese would be doing it like crazy. Like they would be like selling them for $10 each and like just making all kinds of money. Because they have just ginormous farms of shrimp production.
Well, it's fun, honestly, just trying whether it works or not, because the shrimplet's just so dang cute. You can't, even if it's the wrong color, you're like, oh my gosh.
I love seeing it. Like we had a type of shrimp that we've never kept before, and it bred the other day, and I saw babies. I'm like, it's so cool. Like I freaking love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, what type of shrimp was it? Everybody's going to want to know now.
It was Caridina trifasciata. And so it was like have you ever heard of a raccoon shrimp?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's similar to like a raccoon shrimp. So it has black markings on it, and then it's clear with a bluish tint. And they're a really cool looking shrimp. Like I love them. Yeah, our importer is really good to us. So we actually messaged him. We're like, hey, we're looking for like this certain type of shrimp, and he was like, I don't have that, but I have this one. You might like it. I'm like, yeah, like send them. We'll see how they do. And he's like, okay, I'll send it as a gift. I'll send it as a gift just for you. I'm like, man, you're the best. Like this guy's awesome. And he's done that a bunch with a ton of different types of shrimp. So it's good to have friends in higher places that have more access to shrimp than me.
Yeah, we don't get them very often around here locally. Every once in a while we'll find a batch at the fish store, but usually we have to either try to order them or wait to the fish auction. But
well, if you guys ever need some, just let me know. I know a guy.
Yeah, I've ordered a few things. I like your mystery.
I thought you said he was on vacation this week.
Yeah.
I like your
He's on
mystery
vacation for the
box.
next year.
I ordered one of your mystery boxes, and that was like the funnest thing because it was like Christmas. I didn't know what I was going to get, and I was like, everything in here is going to be great.
Yeah, people love doing that. So I think people just in general hate making decisions. Like, we're just all indecisive, like you are. Like it's just how it is. And so when we don't even have to think about it, like it's nice just to be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like my wife's always like, "What do you want for dinner?" And I'm like, "Babe, please, just whatever you make, I'm just gonna eat it and I'll be happy. Like, please don't ask me."
That's familiar.
You know how that goes. They'll ask you like, "What do you want for dinner?" And you'll say like, "Oh, like Texas Roadhouse sounds good." And they'll be like, "Oh no, that doesn't sound good. What else?" Then you name 5 things and then everything's no. So I'm just like, you tell me.
Well,
yeah, I know.
See, like I'm a go out person. My parents didn't teach me how to cook. I fended for myself, and I lived on Taco Bell for many years, and it sustained me. That's how I think, like going out. And he was raised on a farm where you grew your own food, and so we're making it work. I'm learning to eat leftovers. Like I've done.
That's so funny. My wife is like anti leftovers. So like I'll have this amazing meal from the night before and I'll be like, I'm definitely eating that tonight for dinner. And she's like, no, let's make something else. Let's do something different. And then my leftovers end up going bad. And I'm like, what? Like this is not nice. Like I really
wanted that yesterday.
We would get into like fights about leftovers, and then I was like, did we really just like fight about a leftover? I'm like, we really just did.
Being in a relationship, being married, like you fight about the stupidest things, and then you look back and you're just like, we really just got like so mad at each other over toothpaste. Like, is that what our life has come to?
Yeah.
We're so exciting. We got into an argument over exactly how we were going to refix these leftovers.
It's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we grew up together. So it's like, I know you so well. Why can't we just get along?
Well, hey, there's somebody out there. Alan Tooth said he recently ordered some pintos and got a purple.
Oh, wow.
And then
so pintos, the Caridina side, you could definitely get purple. It's just the Neocaridina side that you can't get it. And they're super expensive. They're like purple metallics. And I think my price on them is like $70 a piece. And so they're pricey. But that's really cool.
One perk, when he wasn't so into everything, I could go to like the auction. He'd be like, that's a little steep. Do you really need to spend that much on that? And now he's like, yeah,
get it, go.
Well, no, now at the auctions, I'm a bargain shopper. I wait till the high price boys come in and throw all their money around the first few rounds. Then you wait towards the end, and then I start snatching up bags of plants and everything else for same thing, same seller, just win at the end of the auction.
Yeah, and you get them for $1 a bag, $2 a bag.
I just, my hand starts going up.
Well, we haven't been in a while, and I know it's the month after Aqua Shell. It's in July. It's the American Cichlid Association, the ACA show.
Yeah, are you coming to that?
Is going to be in St. Louis. So I'm planning on.
It's going to be in St. Louis? I didn't know that.
Yep.
So I forget what dates, but it's in July. So I'm like,
the Missouri Club's hosting it this year.
So I'm going to be getting into.
That's awesome.
I'm like, how could you leave a show without something?
Oh, you got to spend the money.
Yeah. So I'm like, what do
I used to love auctions so much, but what happened? I'm sure you guys run into this a little bit too. Like people start to get to know you because you're on YouTube and like all the local fish clubs you went and, like I've spoken a lot of the ones that around here. And so I'll go to the auctions and then people want to just talk to me the whole time. And it's like, I love talking to people, but when I go to an auction, like the fun of it for me is like just sitting there watching the bags come up and deciding if I want to bid on it or not. And the last like 8 auctions I've gone to, it's like, I didn't even get to watch the bags. I'm like, oh, like I really wish I had time for it. So I need to get like a disguise or something, like shave my face and roll on into an auction.
I haven't had that problem yet. Usually I'm the one that's like bugging, like, hi.
Yeah, hello.
But we will. Fun. The last time we went to the one, we won the raffle. We got a little Flu Ball Flex aquarium, and it's stocked with puppies. Yeah, and it was Gary Lane is part of our club, and he came up to me. He's like, "Now, don't break that tank now." I'm like, "I won't. I'll protect it with my life."
That's funny. Gary Lane, what club do you belong to then?
The the Missouri Society Auction.
That's awesome. I think I spoke at that one time.
I didn't even know it existed until like a few years ago. I was listening. I think it was to one of this. There's someone's stream, and I was like, that's my area. There's a club here. And I jumped on that real quick. I was like, here, sign me up.
Yeah, I think I did speak at it.
Yeah, it's a good club. It really is. It's about an hour or so away, so I don't get to go to the weekly meetings when they were having them. Now I think they're virtual, but I go to any type of swaps, auctions, and because go to on the weekends.
Do they have that? Is that in St. Louis where they host it?
It's in St. Louis, but I think it's called the hotel's at Earth City.
Gotcha.
Which is like it's by the airport. It's all part of St. Louis, but there's a little Holiday Inn that it seems like it's every time they have an event it's at the same hotel. But it's
Gary Lang. Gary Lang's the one that did the
rainbows.
The rainbows, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the one that said on Dustin's fish tanks videos? He said Gary don't carry.
I have no idea.
I'll have to look it up. Dustin made this funny video forever ago about a water change system, and it was Gary. I don't know if it was Gary Lang or someone else, but he was basically saying Gary don't carry because Gary doesn't carry buckets of water. Like it's all automated. And, I just remember that, and that was so funny. So every time I see him, I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, Gary? Don't carry."
That's awesome. That is awesome. Aquarium analytics. Should I get orange or blue Neocaridina shrimp? Can't decide. Love my cherries and want more, but I only have room for one more colony of shrimp. Well, we got the guy to have.
Well, I'm biased. My favorite color is blue, so I'm always going to tell you to get blue. But orange is like half the price of the blues, and so if you're on a budget, orange is still an amazing color. Like for me, I'm a collector, so like I want one of everything. Like hit me up, and so. Yeah, it's really up to you. If it were me, I would go with blue just because it's my favorite color. But feel free to reach out to me because, like I said, like I know a guy that's got some shrimp and he can help you out.
See, and I would say yellow because they do better for me.
See, that's crazy.
The blue ones are so pretty. They're just eye catching. You can really see them in a fish bag across the room, and they will capture your attention.
Oh yeah,
those blue shrimp, they're something.
And for me, like blue shrimp are 10 times easier than the yellows. It's crazy. You must just have like a really good strain of yellows. I hope,
yeah. I like to say it's because I took care of them.
That's why.
They're doing so.
Give them extra love.
Yeah, I try. I love them so much, but I did get some Amano shrimp in the past, and they did okay. And I don't know if this is true, but I promise you guys that I've gotten one baby Amano shrimp in my water. I know they're supposed to be, the larva is supposed to be in brackish to raise them up, but I got one.
You got one? And it actually grew up and it was an Amano shrimp?
It's in this one, this 55 gallon.
Crazy.
It was definitely, it's only happened once in the years I've had the fish room, but I promise you it happened.
That's wild.
And then I've tried the bamboo shrimp in the past, and I got 2 bamboo shrimp, and they didn't make it, but a couple of days.
I think the problem is you never got shrimp from us.
I'm going to as soon as the stream's over.
That's awesome.
There'll be an after talk of heavy bartering.
There we go.
It's just because I'm so indecisive. I go to your website. I'm not even joking. Weekly,
do you really?
I really do, and I'm just so indecisive that I'm like, I don't know. And there for a while, it was so cold that I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. But now that the weather's getting warmer and it's just overall better because it's nicer outside, I'm gonna go crazy.
Put it this way, to make you feel better, I think last month we sent out like 1,800 orders, and we only had I think it was 4 orders that had something die in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a very, very small amount of orders to actually have issues. So like 1 out of every 200 and some orders we have something die.
Since I took the heaters out, they do well in a little bit colder. It's just me and my reasoning in my brain.
What, to put the heaters in?
No, just shipping in like when it was super cold.
Oh, gotcha.
It was just me, just being overly cautious and indecisive and not knowing. Even when it comes to like what tank, I'll be like, this is my plan. I'm going to order them. I'm going to put them in this tank and I'm going to feed them this and they're going to do great. And then the next time I come down here, I'll be like, well, this one might need a little bit of something too.
So does Jesse ever help you pick out what's going in the tanks or no?
Sometimes. We went to the fish store the last time and I went to look for cichlids because I was looking for a smaller cichlid and we came home with puffer fish that he fell in love with.
I love puffers.
Yeah.
He just kept going
some
back.
Figure 8 puffers. I went, I guess those are coming home with me.
He just kept going back to that corner. And it was a corner that you had to actively go look at. I just kept finding them. I'm like, do you want these? I'll get them for you. And he's like, no. Then he would come back and I'm like, do you want some? And he's like, no. And then finally he's like, yeah.
Now, do you guys still have them?
They're upstairs in a 40-gallon breeder.
I love all puffers. They're just the cutest fish and they have so much personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like we sell the pea puffers, and whenever someone walks past the tank, they all come to the front of the glass and they follow you as you walk. And they're just like praying, like, please feed me.
They're
just give me some food.
I've had them in the past, and now I got some bumblebee gobies instead of pea puffers this time. I've got 2, and they've only been in the fish room for a few days, and they're doing really well. It was a spontaneous, but I always went with the pea puffers. I never tried these before. So now I'm going to try these, but they're so cute.
Now, do you have to have brackish water for those?
I thought so. At the fish store, they were in fresh water. And from what I understand, there's a bunch of different bumblebee gobies. And depending on where they are from, some need brackish and some are okay with fresh water. And I asked him, because on the sign it said it does better in brackish, but they were in fresh water. So I asked him, I'm like, well, should I just, keep it like it is? Or should I add some salt? He said, add salt if they look sad. And so far, they don't look sad.
They look pretty happy so far.
They look pretty happy. But it is my first time, and I've just been watching them. So far, they're okay. From what I understand, but I've only seen them in other people's videos and just reading about them. So
yeah, you have to let me know how they do, because I've always loved the way they look, because they're like black and reddish stripes, right?
These are black and yellow.
Black and yellow.
Black and yellow. But
Color, you know.
they'll sometimes they'll be swimming around, and then other times it looks like they're just hanging out. They're almost like stuck to the glass with their little fins, and they're just sitting there. I'm like, that's so cute.
Yeah, we sell the what are they? The blue Stiffendon gobies, and I love them. They have so much personality too,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not the most colorful fish in the world, but I love the look of a goby. Like I just think they're cool fish.
Yeah, it was a recent. I had never heard of them until relatively recently, and it was just instant. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want some so bad. But our fish store, it's pretty small, but he's been here recently. He's really been getting in some really cool different species. And I'm like, thank you.
That's awesome.
Take my money.
That's a local fish store?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how have they been doing through COVID?
They've been doing pretty good. We never had a PetSmart in our area until 2 years ago. And our local pet store, she retired and this guy bought it from her. So it was like we got a PetSmart and he took over at the same time. But it seems like they're both like he's doing really well even with the chain store. So he upgraded and put in a saltwater section, and he has a few more reptiles now. It's a little bit of there for a while.
More of a pet store instead of a fish
store. Yeah, it was
store.
just a freshwater, but it was just a little concrete, little one room, I don't know, like 10 by 10 building. It was
so it was small.
It was small. And then she retired and they tore that building down and built a Sonic. And I was sad when I don't know why it triggered something when they tore that down. I was like, that was my fish store my entire childhood, that little one-room concrete building. And now he's by Walmart. And I think being by Walmart kind of helps with some foot traffic too.
Absolutely.
So, but he's doing really well, I think. I feel like, at least. I go in there all the time and just chit-chat. He's probably sick of hearing me.
Well, we got another decent question to go. Sandy want to know, if they're already a mono shrimp in a tank, can you still add the cherry shrimp in a 55-gallon?
Yeah, absolutely.
I did.
Yeah, mono shrimp. I mean, I really don't consider a mono. I mean, they're shrimp, but they're not considered shrimp because they don't really breed with anything else. And the only thing with a mono shrimp is they're pretty aggressive when it comes to feeding. And so, like if you feed pellet food, they're gonna take that pellet food and go wherever they want and eat it. And so, like, you know, the cherry shrimp are gonna have to eat scraps and stuff like that. But we keep a mono shrimp with blue bolts. We've kept them with cherry shrimp. We've kept them probably with a little bit of everything. And there's no bad stuff with them. I've never had a mono shrimp transfer bacteria to Neocaridina either. That just has never happened for me. Probably because of the water that they come from. But I never have problems with the mono shrimp and add another shrimp in with them. Yeah,
I love them to death. The ones I have, that one, I don't know. I know they say they don't breed, but I got one baby. I've got them in this, and they're separated now, but I've had them in with some cherry shrimp before. And when I first got them, I just picked the tank that had the most algae, and they cleared it up real quick. But they're permanent with these Kerri tetra behind me, and I don't see them a whole lot, but when they come out, they're munching down on everything. And
they get pretty big too.
They do.
Yeah, mono shrimp are just like, they're the best beginner shrimp because they're pretty much bulletproof. Like if something happens with a mono shrimp, you know something's seriously wrong with your tank and you should never have shrimp in it.
Yeah. Well,
there's something else going on. There's a bigger problem at hand.
Absolutely.
I'm worried about moving my yellow shrimp around tank by tank, but those are mono shrimp. I don't have any problems. I'm like, here's just some algae over here. And
yep, net them out, put them in a different tank.
I don't have any problems moving them. But those little yellow ones in that tank, I'm protective of.
That's funny. Now, how many yellows do you think you have?
I don't even know. I honestly, maybe a good 50 in that.
Wow.
A good 50.
That is a good amount.
I've had them for probably 3 years now.
Yeah, you got to take some out. Start another colony of them.
Yeah, I need to. I really do. I just like seeing the shrimplets because I never know. like I never officially know with the shrimp if I'm doing it right, but I feel like I am at least in that tank. So every time I see shrimplets in there, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm doing something. But I've been adding, there's some driftwood pieces, like little bitty driftwood pieces in there. And then I've added some leaf litter from just the yard, just some random leaves from the yard. And then some, little, I call them gumballs, but the little miniature gumball things for just some botanicals for them to munch on.
Are the gumballs, are those like the botanicals that are like spiky?
Mm-hmm.
Like the spiky seeds? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They like that?
They seem to be okay with it. I take them out every so often because they get a little mushy and they get covered in algae, and I'll take them out and put another one in there. But they're always munching on them. But it seems like that algae wall, I don't know if you can see it behind Jesse, but the whole back of that tank
move, Jesse.
has algae.
I am.
Has algae on it. And at first I would scrape it and scrape it and scrape it, but they were always on there just grazing. So now
you figure just let them have it.
But they go at it. And it's probably not like the prettiest tank to look at, but they're happy, and that's makes me happy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right.
We got any more questions or anything?
Well, I'm sure we missed a whole bunch because I get to talk in and then I don't read anything. So
well, I seen one that somebody was talking about that they didn't have shrimp in their tanks, but they were loving hearing talking about genetics back and forth.
Oh, genetics is fun.
Mm-hmm. I could do those pundit squares all day long when I was in class. I loved them. That's
fun.
I just don't know the specifics. I need to read more about it when I get some time, but just this individual, and about guppies too, just the individual genetics about, what makes a cobra tail or this and that, like the specific genetics. But I could listen to it all day long, whether I know the ins and outs about it or not. I know just enough to follow the conversation.
Yeah.
But to know like this gene is an XX and this one's a little R, or I don't know the ins and outs of the specific alleles of what makes it up, but I can listen to it all day long. It's interesting. But
I'm excited to get more into breeding.
I just didn't know if like I said earlier, if you put this and this, if it was more on the color wheel, or if you needed to back cross if you had these and then back cross it to a cherry and then see what comes out. Because I know the cherry shrimp are just stronger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would say it's not the color wheel.
Yeah, apparently not.
Yeah.
But I was curious because you get all these different, they call them like Skittle tanks, I guess, but you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you're like, well, I don't know if I mix a yellow and a blue together, would I get this? But
yeah. Hey, it's fun to just breed it and try.
It really is. And at the end of the day, I don't care. Because as long as they're breeding and they're happy and I get to watch them and swim around and they're just fun.
They're just fun.
They're just fun. And I haven't had them very long, but I've always just kept plecos. I've always just had plecos in my guppy tanks. But now I'm, fiddling with the shrimp. It's fun.
Yeah.
I had no idea how cute they were, how entertaining they were, but they are.
Yeah, both the employees that we hired that didn't have aquariums, since they've been working here, they both set up aquariums at home to keep shrimp. And the one was like against shrimp. He was like, I don't get the whole shrimp thing. Like I would set up a fish tank. And now that employee has 2 shrimp tanks. And it's like, he's always like texting me like, hey dude, like this happened. Is this okay? Or, this one's fanning. Should I be worried? And I'm like, no, dude, you're doing good. And so it's funny how like people always think like, oh, like what's the big thing about shrimp? Then they get them and they're like, I like these. I like
these. Somebody gave them the bug.
Yeah.
Well, I guess here, since it's been an hour, are you going to be on the Wednesday morning chat this week?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
so this week should be more normal.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hopefully. For both of us, or for all 3 of us.
Yeah. This week, you guys, it's tested my soul, but we made it through it. The sun's shining. As long as I get to go outside, I'm good.
Yeah, as long as this good weather keeps up, we'll be all right.
It automatically makes me in a good mood. If I could just go outside and get some sunshine, no matter what, it just makes me feel better.
Yeah, it really does.
But I will definitely see you Wednesday in your live chat, and I really appreciate it. Just coming in and chit-chatting with me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I always
fun.
appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me. And sorry it took so long to line this up, but I'm glad it finally happened.
It was worth the wait.
Well, thank you.
And I will see you in person in Aquashella. I will be there. And like I said, if you guys need any help, I'm planning on being there the day before to help set up again. So you can count on me. I'll be there.
We'll take as much help as we can get.
Well, thank you again, and I'll talk to you real soon. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And I'll see you guys all next Sunday at 4:00. So,
see you guys. Have a great night.
Peace.